Today on The Social. From mean girl behavior to high school cliques, Ashley Tisdale is sounding the alarm on her former mom group. But what's feeding this type of toxicity? And 82% of women are saying I do to booking their husband's healthcare appointments. Does this level of marital admin need to stop? Then, a pecan pie recipe on the rocks? Drink expert Evelyn Chick is back with unique recipe ideas for leftover dessert cocktails. Plus, we sit down with Life After Ambition author Amil Niazi to hear about her new memoir and her message to millennial moms. It all starts now on The Social.
Of 2026 on The Social. Yes. I would like to welcome back to the panel actress and comedian Emma Hunter. Welcome, Emma.
Thank you so much for having me. I love to be here.
Happy New Year. We get to say that, right?
Yes, we do.
When do we stop saying Happy New Year?
At the end of this week? Oh, February?
Can't keep track. Okay, yeah, maybe February. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Thank
All right,
you.
let's kick off this show, shall we? We're going to kick it off with some celeb mom drama. Actress and singer Ashley Tisdale wrote an article for The Cut exposing her former toxic mom group and explaining why she left it. Now, she says it felt too high school, or was that too high school musical? Catch the reference? Adding that she was excluded from hangouts, social media posts, and even group text change. Now, internet sleuths are saying that maybe that group included celebs like Hilary Duff, Meghan Trainor, Mandy Moore, and although Tisdale's rep says the piece is not about them, we are wondering, who are you talking about, Ashley? So have you ever experienced this idea of mom toxicity or mom group toxicity?
No, I mean, I personally have not, but I think part of that is because I didn't really have a maternity leave, so I didn't really find a mom group. And if I think about it, actually, a lot of my friends are childless, and my sister had, yeah, exactly. Right. Like, I know a lot of different kinds of groups, so I didn't find one collective group. But if I'm to theorize about what this mom toxicity is about, I think it's two things. I think if you were toxic in high school, you don't suddenly lose that when you become a mom.
Absolutely.
You carry that forward, that energy forward, and then you create that toxic environment. And the second thing I do think is also at play is just deep insecurity and sleep deprivation, right?
Oh, interesting.
You put those two things together, you're already vulnerable, you haven't slept a lot, and then every single decision you're going, is this the right decision? Is this the wrong decision?
Yes.
Is it the right decision? And then if other people are kind of like, well, we're doing this, then you're like, oh my God, what am I supposed to be doing this? Am I not? So you might be perceiving things as a slight that might not be a slight.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
You're sort of out of your mind in the
Yes.
early stages of motherhood. So I have an interesting experience in that I didn't sort of go seek out a mom group. I didn't have a maternity leave as well, but when my son first started school, I was shooting a show in Nova Scotia, so we started 6 weeks after everybody at school. So mom groups were hanging out in the yard, and I was like, I don't know anybody. And this group of women, kind of out of nowhere, my kids, you know when your child and their siblings line up with their children and siblings, so the ages were all the same. So my eldest was the same age as their eldest, yada, yada. And they sort of folded me into their world in a way that it would be like, do you need somebody to pick up your kid? And I'd be like, yeah, I got these twins, but I got you. Shout out to the Hood moms. They are the best. And I think, though, it's interesting to watch them because I sort of feel like I'm new. And the way they run it is they never say a bad word about each other, which I think in other circles with some of your girls that night with someone, you can talk a little trash. These women do not talk trash. They do not.
That's great.
They do not. I will not. I will not. And they don't brag about their kids. You know, there's a weird economy sometimes in parent groups where it's like, well, she's just done so well on the gifted test. How did you? Like, that does not happen. And there's never intentional exclusivity. So there's never, this is happening, one woman gets left out. It's always everybody more better. And it has been the greatest source of joy in terms of community.
That's ideal.
And I feel very lucky.
That is so ideal.
Yeah, it's just a real gift.
That's lovely, but I'm about to talk trash.
Let's go.
And I'm gonna talk trash about a mom group, and then everybody's like, you're not a mom, but listen, I had a group of friends who were all married, and they moved to a cul-de-sac just before they were about to have kids, and they're like, it's gonna be perfect. We're all gonna move into this neighborhood. We're gonna have our kids at the same time. It's gonna be so cute. And it was, until it wasn't. And what I noticed in the first few years of them all having children is that it became so toxic. Everything was a competition, from who got their renovation, who could afford a new car, who got a double stroller. She got the expensive stroller. And then they started talking about each other's children's behavior. Oh, did you see the way he behaved? Did you see what he was wearing? He was wearing Burberry. Oh my gosh, well, they have the money for that. And every girls group, I got quieter and quieter because I'm like, what is happening to this friend group? You guys are supposed to be
Sleep deprivation and insecurity.
Is that
That's what that is. I think that's what it is.
More like Mean Girl and a lot of competition. It didn't feel like any sleep deprivation. It felt very mean, and I slowly kind of exited that situation because I'm like, I don't like what's happening. And another thing that was really bad, anytime one of the girls wasn't there, she became the main topic of conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
terrible.
I don't know what this is, but no, thank you. My childless self is exiting stage left. Thank you very much. So I'm glad you had that
I
positive.
think it's rare, and it happened to me. Again, I can't take any credit for this. Is how we do. I'm new. I just feel like it's just a lot of good luck.
That's the template for
It's a template. I
do
think,
that.
but here's the thing, like, you know that saying, don't hate the player, hate the game. I think that the more and more, the older that I get as a woman and we have experiences, you know, you start to ask yourself, well, then why? Is this inherent in women? Is it like we get together and then we start to mean girl? Is it something that starts young? And the idea of breeding competition among women, I don't think that's a woman problem. I think that's the patriarchy that has done that to us, that has made us turn on each other. Or you could even look at it from classic sort of psychology, which is, I don't know if it's Jungian or if it's Freudian, where that in which you hate in yourself, you hate in others.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of times, there's so much pressure on women, period. Then you add in the layer of motherhood, and yes, sleep deprivation and all of these things. And I actually believe that this culture has brainwashed all of us women to believe that we should be naturally gifted at being mothers. It should come naturally to you. You're a woman. You should be very naturally good at this. And is that us putting it on each other? Or is that culture that says, women, you better believe that you're naturally good at this because it upholds the patriarchy so that the men can go to work? So the way that I look at this is, I don't think this is woman-on-woman crime. I think this is the way that the culture makes women turn on each other. And if you're very judgmental about yourself or you're insecure, am I doing this right? You don't say that, oh gosh, I'm being insecure. You look at her and go, she sucks.
Yes.
You suck.
Yeah.
And I just think that, I think we have to dismantle this idea that it's culture that has pitted women against each other. Because I think when we do it right, we're the ones who rule the world.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's leave the toxic moms and move on to the one and only Cher. She appeared on Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast alongside Shepard's wife, Kristen Bell. And things got awkward when Shepard asked the iconic singer who she'd romantically pair his wife with. All right, so the internet is loving the 79-year-old singer's bluntness. Emma, should we tell people when we think that they are punching above or below their weight in a relationship?
Okay, no way. You are gonna get in big trouble. It never goes away. I think we probably have all done this once to a girlfriend. Maybe you have had some wine. Maybe you were sitting on a balcony, you're like, you know what? This guy, let me tell you. And then the next day they're like, I love him. And you're like, oh, okay. And it's bad. However, addendum, Cher can. Cher can because Cher is Cher. And she is the queen, and she is, what did she say about herself? She is a rich man, and she has earned the right, and if Cher wants to tell me something, I would listen. I worry that she would see my husband Tom and be like, you have to leave her, she's weird. But yeah, I can't but Cher can.
But there's something about an older woman, if you love them and you respect them, when they give out some of this advice, sometimes it can really land. When I first started dating Jason, I was just starting out in my television career. He was already very established as a director of photography, and I was a belly dancer at the time. So this Lebanese woman, she was older, she was gorgeous, she's an incredible dancer. She was teaching me. She met Jason for the first time, and first of all, she said he looks like a beautiful Egyptian prince. But then she said something to the effect of, she's like, you know, he has a lot more to offer you in this relationship than you do, so you better hang on. And I was like, ow.
Okay.
Ow. But she wasn't, like, it didn't stay with me. I was kind of like, okay, I think there's something to listen.
But look at you now. Look at you now. TV.
Wait, it was a compliment. What she was saying that you've chosen a great guy, right?
Well, it was a compliment.
Backhanded compliment. See, now, I know how you love Cher, but I'm sorry, I'm not with Cher on this one, because I was told, listen, if you're gonna take advice from somebody, before you take that advice, look at their life and say, do I like what they're doing when I trade places? And if the answer is no, well, then their advice is to be tossed in the garbage. And Cher, I'm sorry, girl, she is dating this music producer. His name is Alexander. Here's the picture. He is the baby father of Amber Rose, who's a former video vixen, and he seems to be making his way through Hollywood from one rich woman to another. And I'm sure a lot of people, by the way, there's a 40-year difference between the two of them. And I'm sure a lot of people have had opinions about her relationship with him. So I think it's very rich for her to be sitting with Dax and Kristen, who are very successful, and go, I don't see it. And it's like, girl, are you serious? We don't see it.
Hot. I get it. I think Cher's nailing it.
Do you think she's nailing it, or he's nailing her?
Exactly what's going on. I think he's nailing her. He's making his way through Hollywood. And she's like, can I get in line?
Okay.
I just can't wait till I'm 79. I wish we didn't have to wait till 79 as women to just fully speak whatever is on our minds. I love her energy. I don't know if I agree or I disagree with her. I actually don't know. But I just love that she's like, you know what's on my mind? I'm going to tell you what's on my mind. I wish that we didn't have to wait to be almost 80 to be free with our mouths. Let's take a break. We get to do it here.
Yes, here.
A little bit. Guess we chose the right job, ladies. Let's take a little break, everybody. 82% of healthcare appointments booked for men are made by women. After the break, are you contributing to this number? We're going to find out where we land after this.
Tomorrow on The Social, from food fear to food freedom, registered dietitian Abby Sharp tells us how we can reach our health goals without a diet in sight. This week on The Social, from seaweed soaks to kidcations, we reveal the most popular travel trends of 2026.
Okay, well, you know that we have a lot to say about the topics here on The Social, but if you do as well, we want you to connect with us on social media, and that's where you can have your voice heard.
Okay, a new health report done by healthcare platform ZocDoc found that not only are women taking on the brunt of healthcare planning for their families, but that a staggering 82% of medical appointments booked for men by others are scheduled by women. So do you book the appointments for your significant others?
Do you guys?
No,
Yeah, there are some.
no?
There's a few. There's a man in the audience saying, yes, she does. Yes. I won't point you out, sir. I don't in my family for me and Ryan. My mother does for my father, if you can even get him to the doctor, because I think generationally, he's part of a group of men who are just like, I'd rather not know and I'm fine. And that's how I do my healthcare. In my house, you guys know that my mantra is aging powerfully. And I believe as not only a woman, but all of us, we have a lot of prevention that we can do to age powerfully. And when Ryan is not doing what I think he could be doing better for his own health, I say to him, the reason why I'm working out and eating well and trying to de-stress and all these things is not just so I could live a longer, healthier life. And I'm also not doing it just so that I can take care of your old beep. I say to him, it is your job to take care of you because you want to be here for me and our daughter. So I don't do it, but am I on him? about things? Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Wait, but does it work?
It does.
It does work.
It does work.
Okay.
Yeah, luckily it does work.
Okay.
During the pandemic, a lot of us were stuck at home, and he revealed that he hadn't had a physical in like a decade.
Yep.
And I said, honey, you are not 20. And for men and all of us as we get older, these are things that you have to do. So he didn't make the appointment initially, and I'm like, did you do it? Did you make the appointment? Did you? Did you?
Yeah.
He finally did it, but it was because I was pushing him. And everything's great, thank God, but you kind of have to.
Do you do this for Tom?
Oh, I hate mine. I want to say
You hate
I got a man that does it himself, and I do, like, he makes the actual call. He will have the phone, but I think I'm in a similar situation to Mel, except Mel always sounds more sophisticated than me. Like, there'll be something, like, sore throat thing. You go, you should go to the doctor, and he'll go, yeah. Anyway, what's going on with the hockey? And I'm like, so what are we doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he had this mole on his back, and we're being like, there's a mole changing. And he was like, I know. Yeah, I was like, call the thing.
Yes.
What? There's no self, and I think he thinks like, she's got it. I'm like, I cannot do the mole, man. I can barely do the pasta. You got to deal with the mole yourself. So there is this lack of sort of self-motivation, I think, when it comes to health.
And the question is like, where does it, I think part of the reason where it comes from,
Generational.
it's not only generational, I don't think that the next generation is doing much better. I don't know, we'll have to ask afterwards because we got some in the audience. But I feel like it's partially our gender as well, like that we grow up. I remember the first thing I did when I went away to university and was living on campus was I found myself a doctor because I knew I was gonna have to get my physical and I was gonna have to get like my birth control and gonna figure out these things. Men don't have to think about their relationship to their body in quite the same way until the wheels start falling off the bus, and then they're out of the habit for it. So I think that it's such a complicated.
But it's also
piece.
they shouldn't be thinking that. You don't wait till the wheels fall off the bus.
No.
If you take care of yourself, the wheels don't come off the bus. And I'll say, almost every single guy that I've ever dated, I have booked doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, and got their health back on track. It's just something that it comes up in the conversation where you start dating and then they start talking about a pain, or one guy was like, oh, I'm having this thing, and I go, well, you should see your doctor. He goes, oh, I haven't seen a doctor since, and I go, when's the last time you had a doctor? He goes, my pediatrician. And this man was in his 40s. And I was like, you haven't seen a doctor since your pediatrician. There was another guy that he was talking about, and we were at a restaurant. I went to order something really sweet. And he goes, oh, I shouldn't have that because I'm diabetic. I go, you're diabetic? When's the last time you went to the doctor? He goes, about 6 years. And I'm like,
Oh, no.
It's
the
fear
diabetes.
also.
and here's the deal.
fear,
And
I
here's the
think.
deal. The nudging, I know the nudging would work, but what I end up doing is just like, okay, you know what? Give me the number. And I just call and I book the appointments. And I'm like, you're going.
But be careful, because my mother-in-law taught me, if you do it once, you do it forever.
Here's the deal. I know, but you know what? It's their health, because it's not
Yeah.
like a haircut or having a shower. That you're on your own. But I don't want to know that I saw something, said something, and then I just
didn't.
didn't
Yeah,
do
that
something. And
tracks.
now we're talking stage 4. Now we're talking something more serious. So I'm like, let me just do the appointment. You're welcome. And I was just thinking, the only 2 guys I haven't done that for are guys that I dated in high school and junior high, because their moms were still doing it. So
Yeah, there's that part.
something
Yeah.
to think about.
believe it.
Yep.
Let's start. Let's just everybody get on your health for 2026. Okay?
Yeah.
Men, women, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay? Everybody. Let's move on next, because writers for The Guardian are listing things that they will not be wasting their time on this year. The list includes things like doom scrolling. That's out. Eating low-fat foods. That's out. And let's add making appointments for men to the things that we won't be doing in 2020. So this is kind of almost like an anti-resolution list. What will you not be bothering with in 2026, Andrea?
Besides a couple bad wigs that I wore last season, I was thinking, it kind of circles back to what we were talking about with Cher. Just saying how I feel. Like, just saying what's on my mind and getting rid of that filter and not being so worried about what everybody's gonna think. I'm never gonna say something to annoy someone or upset them, but that's what I'm gonna do in 2026. I'm gonna say it and put it on the table and just step back from it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do that, but I love that. I think I am going to try, I say this every year, I am going to try to not gossip. But I say this, and I'll say it to my husband right before we have a nice smooch. I'll be like, I'm not gonna say anything mean about anybody. And then it's like 12:07, I'm like, she looks terrible. Girl. So,
It's
Let's try it again. I'm gonna get a perfect body.
That's
the plan.
I
have
love
one,
it.
Cyn?
Yeah, I'm trying to not online shop. It's just too easy. This is my new commitment, guys. So I was finding that I was doing it for the quick dopamine hit.
Yes.
Sort of like, you know, I must have that. And then
Yeah.
sometimes you just be like, again, tired and vulnerable, and you just be like, yeah, I need this, and you get it, and you're just like, I didn't need this, and then I'm too tired to bring it back. So my new thing is that if I really want something, I have to go in person to try it on.
Brick and mortar?
If I do not
So
have the
old
energy
school of
to
you.
go in physically, if I don't have the energy to do that, then I clearly don't want it enough. So that's my new rule. I might make some exceptions, but that's
Wow, that's big. Who are you?
What about you?
Okay, so this one is going to be really, really hard, but I don't want to be available to everybody 24/7.
Okay.
Now, that's very hard because we all walk around with this, right? And this is very useful, this tool. We need it all for work now, for maybe for buying clothes online. But what it is I want to go back old school. When you only had a landline, the only way someone could get a hold of you is if they got you on your landline. Otherwise, I'm incognito. You can't find me. So I think if I can do a better job at putting parameters, I'm available from this time to this time. After that, it's my time. You don't get access to me. So
Can
I
say
don't
something
know if it's
about
going to
that,
work, but
Mel?
I'm going to
Too,
try.
is I can't remember, this was like last year or something had happened on the show that was a little thing, and I wanted to ask Mel about it. And it was like, she had probably just left work and she has a family, and I was like, hey, what did you think about blah, blah, blah? Immediately, she's like, hey girl, okay. And immediately got back to
I
me,
remember
and I was
this,
like, that
yes.
is so Melissa Grelo. Like immediately wanted to just like check in and be like, yes, this is what I think. And I just remember thinking like, that's,
Well, she's not doing that this
no, I
year.
know, I'm not gonna ask, but it's
Okay,
very, she
good
does do
time.
that.
That
She's
ain't
got her
never
people's
gonna happen
backs, and it's
again.
very lovely.
That's very, I do
Yeah.
remember that. I do. And I would do it again.
I know.
For you, I would.
She already broke the resolution.
Let's take a break, everybody. Does a 50th high school reunion sound like your dream or perhaps your worst nightmare? Okay, we're going to debate. Would we go after this?
Welcome back. A man wrote to the Washington Post to ask if he should go to his 50th high school reunion. He says he sees no point in going since he didn't enjoy high school in the first place. So the question is, would you go to your 50th reunion, Emma?
Okay, so I loved high school. I'm one of those lucky people. I was a dancer, so I had like a little bit of cred, and I had a wonderful drama program, and dancer like ballet. Anyway, and I loved it, and it was really great. But I have a, I don't know, a pathological aversion to looking back. And I've always been like that since I was a little kid. My parents always tell me this story of I turned 6 and was like, I just loved being 5. This is awful. And they were like, what is this? I cried when I turned, like I just am not a looky-backy person.
Yeah.
I like to try to be in the present, which is hard, or look forward. And I even like, my husband will show me pictures of our kids when they were babies, and I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
Yes, it just makes me so sad, the speed with which time is passing. Anyway, it's daytime, I don't want to get everybody upset. But I would probably give it a skip, just because I don't want to, going down memory lane doesn't satiate an itch for me. If anything, it kind of makes me, I don't know, a little bit too, well, just, yeah, I guess the feeling for me is more melancholic than joyful.
Yep.
So I'd rather look forward.
I get that.
So,
That's
and I also am not that healthy, so I'd probably be dead.
Oh, the 50th. It's a
Let me
50th.
book your appointments. I'll book your appointments.
Will you put me in a
I'll
doctor's
book all your doctor's
Yeah.
appointments so you can live.
I will flip the other side. I totally understand that too, but like not only did I plan my high school reunion, and no surprise to anybody, prom, high school reunion, I did it all, but I think the timing is significant. Like somebody might say like, oh, a 20th reunion, we haven't lived enough to get reunited. Like we're still living. The 50th though is a little different because if I do the math right, depending on when you graduated high school, you're pushing 70. So I think the 50th reunion might serve a different purpose at close to 70 than
who's
it
still
does.
alive?
Like, yes, not only still who's alive, but I think, you know, it's a bookend of your life. You would have left high school when you were getting ready to launch in life. And your 50th reunion is like, so how'd we do? how'd we do? And I also think there's an element of
become like a kind of a comparative. That's the part of it that I don't like.
No, I
where
don't think
everyone's sort of
pushing 70. I think the comparison, like we're in the comparison era now, right? Like, look how good I'm doing compared to you. Like, I think there's that. There is an element of that which I don't like in reunions. But I think 70 is different. It's like there might be an element now of loneliness. There might be an element of like reconnecting to be like, how'd you actually do in life? And there's something a little more retrospective, reconnecting. It is a little melancholy because we're starting thinking about the end of life.
Yeah.
And so that actually automatically makes me think about the beginning of my life.
And Mel, you'll be the age where you can just start slamming people with what you really think. So you can just like rapid fire.
You're like,
the
look at
reading.
you,
Bad
look at
pants,
you,
nice
look at
top, let's go. I never liked you, let's go.
Yeah, see, I'm not going, and I'm not going not for the reasons everybody thinks. I didn't have any trauma. I didn't have any, there's nobody that I'm thinking about that I had a hard time with. I actually had this situation happen to me where I went into an eyewear store, and as soon as I walked in, this guy said my name, and I'm like, oh. And then he was like, yeah, Andrew, do you recognize me? And so I was like, oh, maybe you worked on this show, maybe you worked. He's like, no, we went to high school together. And I was like, I wasn't placing him. And I go, give me more detail. Like, did you look different? And he's giving me details about my hairstyle, the groups we were in, the classes I don't know this man.
Wow.
And so my fear is that I will go to that reunion and it'll be a room full of people where I'm like, I don't know anybody here. And if we're talking 50 years in, my perimenopause doesn't allow me to remember you now. You think at 50 years later I'm gonna remember you? So for that reason, I'm just gonna not go so I can spare myself the embarrassment.
It's true. Well, this was a ton of fun, Emma. It's great to have you back.
Oh, I love being here so much. You guys are the best. Thank you.
Thank you. I will answer any text you send.
I know,
Anytime. Let's take a break, everybody. Up next, leftover dessert cocktails with Evelyn Chick. We'll be back.
Welcome back, everybody. If you have leftover holiday treats hanging around, our next guest has a deliciously unexpected suggestion. Turn them into cocktails.
Waste reduction has never tasted so good. So here with decadent dessert cocktails is drink expert Evelyn Chick. Welcome back to the show.
Good to see you.
Happy New Year.
Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Okay, so we're gonna start with two drinks today that you say feature clarified cocktails, or I guess you consider them clarified cocktails. What is that anyway?
So clarified cocktails actually just means that you take any cocktail and then it goes through a process where we remove all of the kind of little bits of granular like substances in it, so it becomes relatively clear. So you can use, milk fat, you can use gelatin, you can use agar-agar. Like it's a very sort of like chemistry take in bartending, but you yield like this really delicious, really luscious drink. You can do it with any cocktail. Yeah.
Okay, so the clarified cocktails that you brought here today are actually a specific type called a milk punch.
Yes.
Explain that for us.
Milk punch was all the rage in 2025, and I think it's going to continue in 2026. So I've actually used like various types of milk. So there's like chocolate milk, coconut, and oat. And the process really is like making cheese. I know it sounds crazy, but it's, when you make cheese, you strain out all the solids, and what's left is the whey. So you're actually doing
I make cheese all the time. You're right. When I make cheese on the weekends,
the process is essentially like a fat that gets strained out, and then you're left with this like really luscious, really delicious cocktail.
All right, so we're starting with a pecan pie milk punch. Explain how you did this.
Okay, so I have leftover pecan pie in the freezer. Trust me, I had to fight my partner with it because usually there's no dessert left over. But if you do, what I did was I took a slice and kind of infused a coconut milk with it. It's 20% milk fat. Okay. So you just kind of put it on medium, and it infuses the coconut milk with pecan pie flavors because there's a pecan pie slice to it. And you just throw it in a jar like this. So this is left overnight. And as you can see, the fat cap here is what separates because it's curdling. So now you're making, your whey.
Sorry, so did you like food processor? Like how did you get from that to this?
I just crumbled it and infused it in the coconut milk. Yep. Okay. And then in here is actually the infused coconut milk. There is some Canadian rye, Gosling's Black Seal rum, which is like very molassesy, really yummy. There's black tea in it for some like really nice like floral quality, and some maple syrup. So you're pretty much like making a pecan pecan pie again, but in a cocktail form.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes.
you've put this jar in your fridge overnight.
Yes.
And then now what?
Now we're gonna strain it with a coffee filter like this. So you're just gonna pour it out. So what's gonna happen is that
Smells great.
the milk is going to clog the filter, right? And it's just, you just kind of like let gravity do its thing. So it's just gonna drip out at the bottom like this, as you can see.
Yes.
And it's just, you just let gravity do its thing. And then at the end, you're gonna come up with this really beautiful, like clarified cocktail.
And we have our own version
You
here.
have your own version here, yeah. Look at the color difference though.
Wow.
Oh, and there's
that's
just the
good.
tiniest hint of sort of that butter pecan
Yeah,
flavor.
I
it's
like
so
that.
smooth.
Wow.
Like super luscious, really delicious.
Okay.
And are there any other cocktails that you can make with leftover pecan pie?
Yeah, so I actually did a pecan pie infused whiskey Coke float. I know it sounds crazy,
lot.
but you usually you heat up the pecan pie and then you throw whiskey in it. You let it infuse. Same thing. You strain it out through a coffee filter. I added Coca-Cola and a vanilla ice cream on top.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so you're just infusing new flavors into
That's
it.
very cool.
Okay, that sounds amazing. Okay, so next we have another clarified cocktail. This one's a chocolate orange milk punch made
Yes.
with chocolate cake.
Yes.
What the heck? Tell us about this.
So again, a piece of chocolate cake, really easy. I crumbled it into chocolate milk, and I just kind of let that sit for about 20 minutes, so it becomes kind of like cake batter-esque texture. And in this same process, I added Grand Marnier Cordon Rouge, which is an orange liqueur. So it mimics like that chocolate orange, like super fun chocolate orange you get like around holidays. Added some brandy to it, a cold brew concentrate, and some cane syrup. So again, you toss it all in a jar. Milk punch is all about just letting it sit and then letting gravity do its work. So you end up with this really luscious, really beautiful drink.
And the alcohol goes in at this stage or
Yeah,
at the end?
everything.
Okay, all
yeah,
of it
all of
together.
it goes into
Okay.
let it
Got
sit.
it.
So,
Okay,
so it's like, you know, you throw it all in and then you
Right.
strain it out because the milk curdles.
Got it.
Can we talk
Yeah.
about the cold brew concentrate? I know what cold brew coffee
Right,
is.
yes.
What is the concentrate?
So cold brew coffee really is just like extracting coffee beans in a way where it creates a lot of like really tropical flavors instead of just like really hard brew. So cold brew concentrate is just a more concentrated version of it. Yeah, very good in cocktails.
Okay, very good. No, it's great. And are there any other cocktails that you can make with leftover chocolate cake?
Yes, so I have a hot chocolate recipe that is like amazing. You literally just toss a piece of chocolate cake into chocolate milk, add some water, let it heat down, strain out the solids like this again, and then add tequila to it. You don't have to do any sweetener. It's so, so delicious.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, if we don't want to make a clarified cocktail, you suggest trying a gingerbread nog flip, is what you
Yes,
call this.
yes.
It's a non-alcoholic drink, and you're going to take me
Yes.
through how to make this.
Okay, so a flip typically is a cocktail with a full egg. So think about like a creme brulee, but like with or without alcohol.
Okay.
So lots of different flavors.
Okay.
First, we're gonna go in with a non-alcoholic spiced rum from Noah. So that's super delicious. It's got some like vanilla, like allspice, clovey notes to
That's
it.
nice.
This is a non-alcoholic Amaro, so to give it that like little bit of, you know, like more molassesy, like herbal quality. Then I went in with a demerara syrup. So it's just demerara sugar, cooked down 1-to-1, and a oat nog. Yeah, I
Oat
throw
nog.
that into
Okay,
it,
got
and
it.
a whole egg. You're gonna
Whole
throw a
egg. I got
whole
my
egg into it.
protein
Got your
for
protein.
today.
Yeah. And then we're gonna
Yes.
shake it up, and I can do that for you
I can
because
do
you
that
know.
too.
Oh, you can do that too. Oh, my
Girl was a
goodness.
bartender.
I was like,
was a
January,
bartender.
we're doing some work.
Yeah, we're doing some work. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So if you want, we can throw in some gingerbread flavors as well, which is some
So, a
cinnamon
little
and
cinnamon,
ginger.
a little
Yeah,
ginger.
a little bit of ginger, and then you strain it out into your coupe right here, and
Okay.
that's it. It's gonna be like really creamy, really luscious.
Ooh, that looks beautiful.
Yeah, look at that frothiness.
my
Okay, so
God. Do we
let's just
garnish
say
them?
you're not Mel and you want to add some alcohol into this. What
Yes.
would you suggest?
Honestly, a couple things would do really well, dark rum or brandy, because it just brings out that kind of like vanilla-esque flavor to it.
Oh,
It's
I wanna
dessert
try
cocktail,
it.
right?
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
This is spectacular.
Right, but it's not too sweet, right? It's
Not
like
too
super
sweet.
balanced, like
For you drinkers out there, a little shot of something, you are
Yeah.
on another level.
Okay, after the show,
this
you know
is
what we're doing. So
amazing.
what other drinks work well with using the gingerbread?
So I love like using gingerbread flavor in like an old fashioned. So it's really easy. You really just cook down, same thing, demerara syrup, add the cinnamon, add some ginger, and then you cook it down, stir it up with some whiskey, and that's your sipper for the day.
Gotcha.
Unbelievable. What a unique idea
So
for all of
fun.
these drinks. Evelyn, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Cheers. So good.
Cheers.
All right, everybody. We'll enjoy this, and after the break, life after ambition. This is going to be a fascinating segment coming up next.
Welcome back. Our next guest is a Canadian writer, broadcaster, and journalist with publications in the New York Times, The Cut, The Washington Post, and The Guardian, among others.
Well, she's here to talk about her brand new memoir. It's called Life After Ambition, where she writes about what it means to be ambitious, to be a millennial, and a working mom. Please welcome to The Social, Amil Niazi. Welcome.
Thanks for having you here. Happy New Year. Congratulations on the book. This is fantastic. So talk to us about your relationship with ambition when you were younger and growing up as opposed to your relationship with ambition today.
Yeah, you know, I'm a millennial, as you said, the gold star generation. I'm also an immigrant. I grew up with no money. So for me, ambition was really a lifeline. It was a way to get out of the life that I was living. And as far as I knew, there were only a few paths to success, a few ways to be a good person, a good worker, a good mom, and I just really wanted to emulate that so I could be someone different. And now I realize that the only person I need to be is me. And ambition can be a tool to get me to different places, but it's never going to make me a different person, and nor should I want it to.
Love that. Very powerful.
So you bring up this idea of mediocrity, which for many people is a major dirty word, right? It's not an aspirational word at all. But you describe it as a self-proclaimed, like you've kind of embraced it, even though you're the self-described ambitious woman. So how did you get comfortable with this idea of mediocrity?
Yeah, it's funny you make that face because I was having drinks with a friend in London, and both of us very ambitious people. She, you know, great professional in her field, and we were lamenting that we didn't have more money, and we weren't getting promoted, and what was happening since we're such exceptional women. And that kind of got me thinking, like, well, what if we're not? Like, is it okay? Is it okay if we're just, like, good enough? Is it okay to be mediocre? And she made that face, and she was very offended. So I changed the subject, but I went home thinking, you know, why that reaction? And we can't all be exceptional, but we still have to live our lives. We still have to put one foot forward. We have to get up every day and work. So how can I be comfortable with the idea of good enough?
Got to ponder on that one for a second. So after your first child, and you've got three young children, you really struggled, as a lot of people do, being a mother and then also continuing to pursue your career at that time. But you say watching a TV show about a detective, Detective Bosch, helped you get through. And what struck you about Detective Bosch?
So I would come home. We were living in the UK. We wanted like American TV, and it was hard to find, and Bosch was on, and it was kind of the only thing on. But the thing about Bosch is he would get up every day, he would go to work, he would catch the bad guy, and then he would drive home, have a whiskey, and feel so satisfied. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, my heart's racing, and I'm just so drawn to the clarity of his life, the kind of satisfaction that he feels. And I was like, why don't I have that? Why don't I ever come home, drink a glass of whiskey, and feel like I have, you know, had a great day at work? And so I started to think about what is the thing that brings me that kind of satisfaction and joy, and where's my passion? You know, where's my Bosch?
Like, did you need to put a man in handcuffs at the end of the day to feel accomplished?
Well, no. No, but yeah, I did. I just wanted to feel good about what I was doing.
Okay, all right. Well, in your book, you also read that some people want to emulate their childhoods, others want to run away from theirs, all right? And you say your children forced you to see what you needed to keep and let go of, which is so powerful. So what did you choose to keep in the end?
Yeah, you know, writing the book kind of made me confront my own childhood again. And like it or not, I am a product of my childhood, and the kind of mom that I am is wrapped up in that. But I don't want my kids' childhood to be negatively impacted by my childhood. So I'm just very, very deliberate about only bringing forward the love. And then when I'm parenting, I make sure that I choose acceptance, I choose patience, and I choose love over shame and judgment and punishment. And every time I do that, I also heal something in myself.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's big.
I mean, I think you're answering this, but like writing, I can imagine writing about your parents will soften sort of even some of the sharpest edges. So talk about the ways in which revisiting your upbringing changed the way that you view your parents.
Yeah, I've always been really hard on my parents, as I think a lot of second generation kids can be, that they're so different from us. Why don't they get it? And I've always told them how I feel, but as a mom of 3, writing this book out, knowing how much I have to carry and how much more they carried, not knowing the language, not having any money, not knowing how to navigate the system, it actually made me so much more empathetic for what they had to do. And it really made me fully feel that they were doing the best with what they had. And I think all parents tell ourselves that every day, right? I'm just doing the best with what I have. And so it gave me a lot more, it was like the Grinch. My heart grew 3 sizes that day. I have a lot more empathy for what they went through.
Yeah, so true. So much to learn, especially for women, I would say. So thank you for writing this book, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Okay. It turns out I still have one more question for you. I want to say that you're careful. You actually say that you have revisited your childhood, but it also has changed how you revisit yourself. I'm going to read that right there. But it's clear that support matters. So what does practical support actually look like? And you clearly have a partner here who's helping you, but when you're both stretched really, really thin, which is not just a woman problem.
Yeah, no.
So what does really, when you're both struggling, what does support then look like?
Yeah, I mean, I dedicated the book to my husband because I could only write it because he was taking the kids every day, doing God knows what while I was working. And I think a big mistake we often make is thinking that we're going to be 50-50 with our partner, and when we're picking up more slack, we're keeping notes in the ledger like, okay, well, I did 70 today. But the truth is, it's all about just making sure you've got each other's back, fill each other's cups. So when he's stretched, I pick up the slack. When I'm stretched and I need help, he picks it up. And one thing I think is I never tell Matt to change a diaper or to get Tylenol. He knows because he's a parent. So we do what parents are supposed to do. We don't do what a mom and dad are supposed to do. And I just think that that's the only way that we can have 3 kids and both work.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Amen to that. Again, thank you for writing this. And thank you for being here today. Thank you. Truly. It's called Life After Ambition. It is out today, wherever you find your favorite books. But studio audience, you're lucky because you get to come with your copy today. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back right after this.
There's never a dull moment at The Social.
We are going to have one heck of a time.
With hot takes and fiery debates.
I'm too old for Leonardo DiCaprio anyway.
We dive headfirst into juicy conversations.
Where are his wild oats now?
No topic is too messy.
I'm gonna blame all of the boyfriends that I've had.
No discussion too heated.
That is an invasion, in my opinion.
We break it down and stir it up.
Is that a red flag?
Just real talk and fresh opinions. Unfiltered.
It's hard.
Unexpected.
This conversation has changed significantly.
And always entertaining.
Are you guys having a good time?
Watch The Social, weekdays at 2 p.m. on CTV.
Okay, tomorrow on The Social, registered dietitian Abby Sharp will be here telling us why diets are out and hunger-crushing combo method is in. Have you ever heard of this?
Never heard of it.
I'm going to guess it has something to do with protein and fiber, but you would know
Probably.
more, I feel like.
Yes.
We're going to have to tune out and find out.
We're going to tune in and find out.
Yeah.
Also, have you ever heard of piriformis syndrome?
No.
Sounds really serious. Other people call it office chair butt.
Oh, that I've heard of. Yes, yeah.
Is that like a flat bum? Is that like a...
You know the bum. You've seen it. We've all seen the office bum.
Oh, God.
Every once in a while I get up just to round it out, just to make sure we don't get the
So we're going to learn about it? Yeah, we're going to learn about it, how to prevent it, and hopefully maybe fix it.
Round it out a
We're
little
going to, I
more.
feel like some squats might be in order. We'll see.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us, for being here. Thank you for tuning in as well. And we're going to see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye-bye.